Hello, everyone. It's me, Ben, from the Double Beta Universe. Uh, give a quick tutorial on how I uh, break apart the story synopsises for new comics and for the sequential artwork. What I'd like to start with is classic storyboard. You can print these for free off the internet. You can just draw squares, very, very rough. This is the Lloyd Baxter origin story. You're One Delightful Dude is what it's tentatively called. And inside it, here we have, the ship approaching the push gates or exiting the push gate. And we can see we've done that here, and very, very, very different in the end. But this is very, very rough for us. So we use this in the most roughest way as possible. Then I move into an A4, and this is the back. This is your board from your single issue comic, and so we just we trace that off. So we have a proximity of where we're going to work, because this again is going to be digitally inked. So in this part of the story, we have our two characters that are meeting on the plane. Their plane is about to exit, and we have two characters. They're not sitting side by side. However, we're going to start with the two sides, and we're going to get very, very rough. And probably about there, and so rough. And I just want to, we're basically going through here what is visually interesting and what makes sense. So we need to get these two characters, and the second one is maybe behind here. And let's get him kind of maybe coming out of his chair already. So like I said, it's very, very rough, very, very quick, very light. I know that my seats on the other shots I've done kind of go to the head, and they actually do sit side by side, so we better put that together. So there you go. You'd have here, and maybe this guy here is also getting up. This gives it a little more dynamic, and a lot of when I do compositions, I'm very conscious of a couple things. I'm conscious of the composition on the page and the panel, the whole page itself, and then most of these traditionally are viewed as side by side with another page. So they kind of try to make it work as much as possible. Traditionally, this is your Z reading format. So people who don't read a lot of comics sometimes aren't sure where to go. This is where you're meant to read across and sort of down and across. And so we're going to play into that too with our. And although we have a synopsis, we don't have dialogue. So if I make this character, who isn't a main character, he's just sitting beside our main character, sort of, he's getting up kind of, and we can have a bit of dialogue where he says, well, good luck on your discovery or something. And, a little bit of a lead is only the third page into what, like, as if they, leads into maybe they talked a bit on the plane. And even though you, the reader, don't know what entirely Dr. Bones is up to, we can start to get little hints through the characters interacting. So we can maybe have them chat a bit and give some hints, but this is the other guy here, and he's getting out. Okay. The next scene here I thought we would have is so the compartments above, and even though it's a space plane, in this part of our timeline we don't have a lot of resources, so things can be very similar. Okay, so inside here, and again we're very, very rough because we're going to come back to it if it works. So we're going to say this is our compartment, and we're going to have a couple bags, just sort of sitting in there. And one of the things we can do now, this is why we so that's sort of half of the drawing, showing a closed side compartment. I mean, unless I was thinking of a lot of dialogue in this panel, which I know there's not tons yet, it's kind of a waste. So we'll break it apart, and then we can do a close-up of this bag here. In this bag, we're going to add a tag you can see with a name. And then we can go like this. And that's going to be Doctor. So we have our two characters, but they have a third character in between because they haven't met yet. We sort of already are starting the motion towards, we come across. As you come across these two panels here, you can cross them at the same time and it still makes sense. You're not going to be confused as a reader. Oh, that's Dr. Lloyd's bag. Now this is where we find out it's the second character who is seeing the bag. Give me 2 secs here. I'm going to read out his name. I only haven't decided who. I think he's going to travel. I think it would be great if he met. Let's say Dr. Jeffries Bigginsworth. No. I want one of the bigger guys. I think Peter Polanski. Peter Polanski is a bigger guy, and I want a bigger character in this scene. So Peter, is going to be here, and he's going to go, hey, and let's get some perspective on this one. So we're going to go this way. And Peter's probably going to say something like, hey, Mr. I almost said Mr. Mr. Baxter. He's going to say something like, hey, Mr. Jones, I think this is your bag, and I think I'm meant to meet you. I'm Peter Polanski, and I'm here. I mean, obviously he's not going to say, and I'm here to work with you, and I'm a geologist, because Dr. Bones knows that already. So that's the key, is like that dialogue we write will introduce them to each other without introducing them like awkwardly to the audience, making it organic. And I think the organicness of him finding, we're going to have his hands in here somewhere, he's finding the bag is a great way to be like, oh, maybe they make a joke. Oh, you were sat right behind me the whole time? Oh, I didn't even know. There's our doctor there. The back of him. And let's call that a scene there. Some nice space for dialogue and a nice angle. Those are our compartments again. Make it like that. And you probably have the chairs somewhere in here. We'll worry about, maybe they'd be like somewhere there. Looking messy, but that part, apologize for the blur. That part I can go back to and understand, because basically I've got my two characters' heads and I know the story beat. Okay, so now we've introduced them, and we're going to get them off the plane. We have a lot of talking to do. So I think what we'll do is we'll split these up into 2 equal panels. And because, again, we're just doing the layout, we're going to have all the seats in a basic 2D sort of way. And we can have our 2 characters here talking. And there are going to be all kinds of characters, of course, other people on the plane. I'm going to get them all in there. But these are our 2. It gives all this room for dialogue, and then to show that they're moving on the way out, we can even show sort of the door at the exit. Have a couple more seats here. This will just help me remember. Okay, that's where the seats end, and then we can have them leaving. There you go. Not bad. I'm pretty happy with that. Again, sort of, we've successfully, I think, hit that zigzag where the zag in the middle of the page is literally where they meet. Eye to eye contact right in the middle of the page. And then as you come down, we're still crossing our characters in this end, and then we're moving across anyway, so our dialogue balloons will end up being here. And of course, you read left to right, and you'll flow right out of the page, and then of course the next page will sit beside this one and help you continue on with what's going on. They'll probably continue to move along, and I think they end up with them getting to the place where they're meeting, and then we'll start to reveal the other characters they're meeting after that. It's going to be fun. So a couple pages of dialogue and transition, and like I said, it's very, very rough, and I think that's the point here is like understanding the composition and the characters and the flow and the space. It comes before the detail, and it comes before any of the actual fine work. To me, this part here is the hardest part. Now I have a plan and I can work towards this. And again, a little bit of a spoilery, but that's what we work towards. That we just can refine and refine from this to this, and then back into digital inking, which I'm sure we'll do more tutorials for in the future. Thanks for joining me. Bit of a long one, but I hope you enjoyed understanding how I compose images on the page. See you next time.